path to becoming a great musician usually takes many twists and turns. Today, I'll be speaking with someone who gracefully navigates that path, a true Renaissance man, Tim Arlen, also known by his artist name of T.D. Lind. We'll be talking about the ups and downs of his music career and how he sees the world through the lens of a romantic painter, an olive grower, and a blues musician. I'm David Franz, and this is The Artist's Mind.
Left the key on the table.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming up.
Such my pleasure.
And thank you for inviting me. I'm glad you find me interesting enough to put on film. Every interview, documentary has to start off with a decent glass of wine mixed with limeade.
It's perfect. So refreshing on this beautiful day.
You know, we're lucky enough, my boss, Philip, who owns Ojai Olive Oil Company, was very generous in allowing me to move here. You know, and I look after the whole 40 acres. We've got 2,000 trees, olive trees, 500 avocados, we've got chickens, we've got vegetable nurseries, we've got herb nurseries, we've got berry nurseries. So living out here, it's just stunning.
Yeah.
I've always been excited about America, especially growing up in England. A, because of the music, because I was into the blues, rock and roll. And I always wanted to move to America. And part of it is because the wild of America. You know, in England, you know, you might get run over by a sheep. You know, it's about as exciting and as dangerous as it's going to be. But in America, and especially living here and having worked here for the last 6 years, you know, we've got bears, mountain lions, rattlesnakes. My boss had 2 wolves that I used to have to work with, which it can be awkward.
I heard they weren't very good employees.
No, they're terrible. I'd be, the worst thing about a wolf is when you're on your knees, that's when they like to play. So you'd be working and you can't hear them. So you'd have your gear, you'd have your, you know, your tools and everything, and you'd be on your knees. And then you'd look around and your bag is gone. And there's a, you know, 200-pound wolf running off with your bag. And then, so you've got to try and retrieve that. And then you go back to working, and then one of them will grab your ankle and pull you because they want to play. But a wolf playing with you is not enjoyable. You know, it's not fun. It's not like, oh, your cat's really sweet. Oh, it rolls over. Oh, it wants to play. No, it's a 200-pound wolf that doesn't have hands. It has teeth.
Right.
And you know, up on the hill, you're on a 45-degree angle, and you're up against the fence trying to make your way down, holding on so you don't fall down the hillside. And you know, a wolf suddenly stands up 9 feet over you, looking at you, wants to play, but it doesn't feel like it wants to play.
Are you sure?
So, but the adventure of living out here is absolutely stunning. And so I ended up, you know, because I'm out in the fields with the trees all day, influenced the song Stone Fruit Blues. And Tim Hutton, who's a great friend of yours, great producer, he actually heard the song when I did it live, and he said, you need to record that with the California Feet Warmers, who are a trad jazz band, which again, jazz. And we went in and cut it. And it came out fantastic. It was an amazing experience. But that song, Stone Fruit Blues, yeah, that was completely influenced, you know, by making olive oil. The trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
The worries of wolves and rattlesnakes and bears.
Well, can we hear it?
I don't see why not.
Will you play it for us, please?
We should. This is about music, isn't it, after all?
all my love, all my love, all right. Dragging on the work week. Lord, I tell you, I'm so born ragged and tired. And old boots and broke feet. Working them rows, rolling logs down into the mire. Black Bear shadow boxing is my 6 o'clock review. But I'm tired of slipping on your scat. Won't you go ahead and break me off a limb or two? The wolves don't like my Stetson, and they growl at my tattoo. Now that's how I get my oil slick. That's how I get my oil slick. I'm devil hot and sun beat. Open them clouds, let the rain come tumble on down. My lady's getting sun bleached, roasting them skins, stone fruit ragged and brown. Rattlesnakes keep whispering, but I don't talk in tongues. And the neighborhood hippies have a fire-breathing dragon and a pig in an aquarium. Goat skins hang like waistcoats. Oh, now where's my fur bow tie? Now that's how I get my oil slick. That's how I get my oil slick. Well, all my love, 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 trying to keep us right. Oh yeah, 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 all my love, 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 trying to keep us right. Well, all my love, 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 trying to keep us right. Boom! Stone Fruit Blues.
Follow me into the grove. Let's go for a wander. I'm taking you the wild way. All right? And it'll be more fun.
The wild way.
The wild way, right?
Oh, Black Creek rolling by. Nailhead fumes and catfish. Like hell, I ain't doing time.
One story which was pretty insane. I was in the middle of one of these old trees, and I'm on my knees and I'm cutting the suckers, and right between my legs, curled up, is a Pacific rattlesnake. It was about 4 feet long, didn't rattle, didn't move, and it was, I'm not kidding, it was right between my legs. And I had that moment of, is this real? Is this actually happening? And then how the heck do I get out of this situation? And I just very slowly, because it didn't, you know, it was there when I knelt down, so I figured, maybe I got a chance to get out. And just slowly rose. Didn't move, didn't rattle or anything. That's just one little story. We had the bears visit us the other night, 2 o'clock in the morning. A mama bear, black bear with her 2 cubs. They used one of my plants as a football across the deck. That's what woke me up. It was my fault. I left some food out, and of course, you know, they're hungry. She's trying to take care of her babies, so
Sure.
Which is amazing. I mean, and to look out of the window and I'm a foot away from a black bear. It's the best. I wouldn't change it. It's amazing.
You are creative in so many different ways, from being a musician, songwriting, painting, all of the stuff that you do in this beautiful natural setting.
Right.
How do you tap into that? Where does it come from?
Bloody hell. That's a huge question.
I know it is.
No, music definitely is the foremost. It has been. Growing up, my family was in the entertainment business, so I was surrounded by music, and music was. I mean, I was lucky that I was introduced to theatre and art and food and wine, but I suppose my natural instinct of expression was music, and then all the other things that I love doing, they come in and out over. You know, I'll paint and then I won't paint for 3 years, and then I'll suddenly have to do that and build other things and just be involved with other elements that are creative, just because it's, I don't know, it's natural. But music is always, yeah, like I say, it's kind of my compass. I always come back to it. I started my first band right out of school. I was 17. And so I got a record deal, and the A&R guys came out. Everything was great. We played this big show when they invited the head of Imago. He came. He just didn't get it, didn't like it. So I was okay. So we parted ways. And after that, I put together another band, which is a little bit more concentrated. And that became Eden Street. And then that's when I got signed to A&M Records, which took us to LA. We're about to release the record, got a phone call, A&M got sold. So you're shelved, the record's not coming out. So we got moved to Interscope, and a lot of other people did too. You know, so it happened to a lot of artists. Now, for that record, we were booked on David Letterman, we were booked on Conan O'Brien. They pumped a lot of money into this record. And it is what it is, it's the music business. So
Yeah, but how did that...
it was a huge effect. It's been the same story with me my entire career. I go with a record company and then it folds. Apart from the first one where we just didn't see eye to eye. And so picked up another record company called Dramatico, and they wanted to send me to France because they thought the music I was doing, you know, the European market would enjoy it. So we moved to France, and it was amazing. I was playing 5 shows a week. About 4 months in, that record company folded. So we moved back. And my one request was, if we move back to America, we're living in Ojai. And then, beautifully enough, 2 years ago, the original guitar player in the band from Louisville called me up, and he said, I'm going to make a blues record. And the only way I can make it is if you're going to be the singer. Would you be interested? And I'm like, are you kidding me? To get back together and play again. So we did. We recorded a record in 3 days, put it out. It did really well. We did a second record, which Glyn Johns produced. We cut it in 2 days, all live. So the last 2 projects have been blues, which has completely filled my heart. So I've kind of gone back to when I was 17, 18 and wanting to do something that, I don't know, it feels good. It feels really good. And that record, the last record, Mr. Little Big Man, we got into the final 5 nominees of the Independent Blues Music Awards, which was huge. And it was meant to break. We were meant to go on tour, and then COVID happened. So beautiful segues and segues and segues into, no, come forward. No, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we're ready. No, actually, we're not ready. But hey, it's nothing's, I've never felt like it stopped. Life hasn't stopped.
Sure.
It's just adventure after adventure after adventure. So this grove that we're in right now, and I'll take you through, this is what we call the Tuscan Grove. Some of our old trees are 160 years old, which isn't old for an olive. Olive trees can get to like 5,000 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're amazingly hardy trees. So we have Pendolino, Merino, Lecchino, and Frantoio. So those are 4 main Italian varieties of olives. And the coloration on these is beautiful. They are almost black, and inside we're going flesh-colored, almost green to flesh-colored. So normally inside, before we harvest, I've got to come in here and make sure that everything's right and ready to go. And we cut the water off about 2-3 weeks before we harvest, so that it's just oil that we're getting, it's not water. And that's perfect right there. That's right on the cusp, and that's... Ooh. Don't eat them off the tree, they taste like shit.
Oh.
But once we've milled them, they're beautiful. So follow me, we'll take a meander.
Well, there ain't no truth in you talking, none but hustler in your veins.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for anybody, especially going through 2020 as we have, it's even your passion has had its moments of, can I?
Yeah.
Do I want to?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't picked up instruments in months, and I've got my favorite guitars. It's been sitting under the daybed literally for the last 8 months. We've got a piano here. Do I play it? Yes, but that regularly? No. So there's, life has its funny, it's strange moments of, I don't know how to explain it. You are influenced all the time by what you see, who you're with, what you do. But there are certain things that sometimes draw you away from that, even though you're not sure why. And having said that, I've just started writing again. 8 months later, I'm back on, I don't know, not a routine by any stretch of the imagination, but at least feeling like I need to say something again. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the stories to tell now will be very influenced by the last year that we've all had to go through. And I'll try not to make them too melodramatic and down. They're going to bring people up here.
Right.
But we'll see. I might want to make people cry before I make them laugh.
That is the power of blues. It captures the darkest parts. It allows you to explore the suffering, but it also can create hope and joy.
Absolutely.
And love and sex and all of the possibilities of life.
Of a full life, of a full lived life.
Yeah.
And it feels good to, I don't know, even if it's for yourself, establish yourself, remind yourself of who you are, to start writing again. To start having that urge to actually want to sit down and create something, and then hopefully it translates and you can put across that feeling and people will enjoy it. I mean, I'm sure you miss playing live. I mean, it's the bizarrest thing. It's so strange not to play in front of an audience.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, because live shows are the feeding off of the energy that's coming back to you.
Completely.
So to have that on a screen,
Yeah.
you want it to be the same. It's not. It's so not.
Yeah.
We're not sharing electrons.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
Not, we're not
Yeah.
interacting in this way.
That
So-
energy, and you're absolutely right, because that's what's enthralling about playing in front of an audience. It's yes, it is self-gratification because you love doing what you do, but most of what you love doing, why you do it, is for that energy and for that connection.
Yeah.
Because that's what music is. That's what art is connection.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all about connecting.
Well, I wanna write a letter, but I just don't know where to begin.
So I've been impressed with your painting in the fact that it has a certain grace. It's a romanticism, like it's the lens that you see the world through. Is that captured in your painting? Is that how you see the world?
I hope so, yeah. I grew up with, my mum was a painter, and so she introduced me to, Cézanne, a lot of the Monet, a lot of the French great painters. And where they moved to in France, and Picasso as well, and it was all about the light. So having come from there, that was another reason why I loved Ojai, is because, as you can see, the light that we get in the evening, or the light during the day, is soft and just super brilliant. And that, color, the light of day, evening, when you can have all those textures, it's It's amazing, and whether it actually comes across in my paintings, I don't know.
It does.
Because I wouldn't say I like painting. I love painting. I wouldn't say I'm a great painter. There are people that really know how to paint, but I do like to try and portray something that, I don't know, that your explanation makes me happy that you even consider that that's what you're getting out of the painting. That's why I still paint. Rarely, but that's why I still do it. The painters that I love, Braque, Picasso, Cézanne, I'm not going to remember all their names now, but there was a celebration of color and vivacity, a vivaciousness, and that stays with me.
Life is a celebration.
It certainly is. Let's celebrate again.
Pleased to be celebrating with you.
I'm thrilled that we're doing this. This is amazing. This is awesome.
I was born little. I never took to second fiddle. My daddy was a big man. I had on my mama's loving, sharp-dressed brother, and he called me Mr. Little Big Man. I was raised on the blues, the boogie-woogie too, so I started up a traveling band. Well, I played through Chicken Wild, I set a bar on fire, wanna fight using only one hand. And they call me Mr. Little Big Man. They call me Mr. Little Big Man.
I'm standing outside of what used to be Echo Magic West studio. A lot of musical history has been made inside these ivy-covered walls, including records by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, William Tyler, Scott Hirsch, and Hisgold and Messenger, just to name a few. Iggy T and the Crazy Makers recorded most of their record here as well, and Sarah Todd, aka Iggy T, and I want to give you a look behind these walls and into that process. But before we look inside, let's get a little background on the formation of the band and how the songs came to be from Iggy T herself.
I'm Sarah Todd. I'm Iggy T. David and I wrote our first song in Joshua Tree, which is one of the most magical places on earth. That song was Still Keep Coming Back. And it made it onto the record, which I think is pretty cool. David and I kept writing together when we were in Venice Beach, and we both ended up relocating to Ojai, and by then we had an entire album at least worth of material. I really wanted to build a band and live track a record. And I had witnessed David as a producer being in a bit of an echo chamber and being really an island in the process of production. He would play all the instruments, he would mix it, he would master it. He was by himself a lot of the time in the studio, and I wanted to do it differently. And I thought, how cool would it be if we just add some more energy, if we bring our friends together, and we just click record while we're playing our songs that we love, that we know. Some of the guys that joined us on this journey: Carl Hunter, dear brother of ours, from Big Bad Voodoo Daddy on saxophone. He played both tenor and bari. Matthew Cheadle, an absolute monster on guitar. Scott Fidget on bass. Fernando Jaramillo played drums on a couple of our tracks, and David also played drums. Everything kind of shifted when we began a studio share with the one and only Scott Hirsch of Scott Hirsch, his solo project, and also Hisgold and Messenger. He's an incredible human, and he started the studio Echo Magic West, and we started recording our record. Every Tuesday we would get together with our band. I would cook everyone a bunch of food. We would either get together and rehearse at my house, or we would head straight to the studio. Many of the tracks that are the final versions on this record were actually songs that David and I shared with the band, and minutes later clicked record. And I swear, these guys are incredible. Within the first 2 to 3 takes, they had nailed the song, they had interpreted it beautifully, and we had clean takes across the board. I just feel like that doesn't happen. There are several important themes that are present on the record that was really important for me to include on a big body of work like this. I wanted there to be a theme of advocating for LGBTQ equality. I wanted there to be a theme of advocating for social justice and for women's empowerment. As an LGBTQ woman myself, these things are extremely important to me. These songs were written with an intention, and that's something that I try to do with everything that I give my energy to, really, is be clear about what the intention is, and that there can be a voice present during this otherwise divisive time, something that can contribute to peace and camaraderie and understanding and advocacy. I feel proud of this record. I've been super pleased with the receptivity of the song Cake, which people are calling a bisexual anthem. I was stoked to see that as a wedding song in the New York Times. I didn't think that was going to be my first entry into the New York Times, but I'm sure stoked that it was. Throughout the recording process, we captured many, many moments, and I'm super grateful that we get to share some of those with you. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Baby, your magic, it's what's keeping me sane. But who knew magic could cause so much pain? The spells I'm under when I'm playing your game. Your body tells me that you're feeling the same. I can't help myself. I know I shouldn't stay. I can't help myself. I can't stay away. I still keep coming back. I still keep coming back now. Hot or cold, we're always causing a scene. Black or white, there's no gray in between. When I'm missing you, I know it's not right. But when I'm kissing you, I give up the fight. Ooh, I can't help myself. I know I shouldn't stay. Ooh, I can't help myself. I can't stay away. I still keep coming back. I still keep coming back now. I still keep coming back. Ooh, I still keep coming back now. I can't help myself.
What's going on here?
I shouldn't stay.
Just practicing.
I can't help myself. I can't stay away.
so confused as to what's going on here because it was a whole event.
Right next to Echo Magic West, there's a music venue called the Ojai Underground Exchange, and it's run by our two very awesome friends, Cassidy and Bernie Larson. Iggy T and the Crazy Makers played their first gig right inside these doors. The band was on fire that night, and Sarah had the crowd in the palm of her hands with her sermon-like banter. It was the first glimpse of Iggy T and the Crazy Makers' purpose-driven mission coming to life. And it was clear that we were tapping into something, but we still had a lot more to do to finish the album.
After we had finished recording in Ojai, we had about 20 songs, and the new challenge became how to cull those down to 11 so that they would fit on vinyl. We decided to enlist the help of Will Robertson from Gallup Studios in Atlanta, and I don't think that we would have assumed we would be driving in an Airstream across the country to get there, but we did indeed take a long road trip full of fun adventures. When we got to Atlanta, we spent about 2 weeks in Gallup Studios with Will. He worked so hard with us. He went through all of our songs with a fine-toothed comb, and we ultimately decided on 11 of them. And I'll never forget what a relief it was after 4 years of this process to lean back in the comfiest chair with candles on and listen to our track from start to finish after working so hard to decide what the order was. Oh my gosh, I think we came up with every possible combination. Definitely my favorite musical moment on the record is verse 2 of Love's Making You Wait. Due in no small part to Will Robertson's incredible vocal production and harmonies. I knew I wanted to make a music video for All for the Better, and David agreed. But making a music video in quarantine has its own set of challenges. Since I was a one-woman crew, I thought it was a really good opportunity to create a video that was equally as vulnerable and raw and real as the song itself. I'd love to share it with you.
You're changing me too. Through you, I'm seeing me. I'm starting to believe it's all for the better. We're gonna make it better. the better. Oh, I'm gonna make it better. Oh, it's all for the better. Oh, we're gonna make it
Thank you, Iggy T, for letting us into your world through that music video. Now, you can find All for the Better at the end of side 1 on Iggy T and the Crazy Makers album, Just Can't Get Enough. And you can also get your very own copy, along with other band merchandise from the band's website or from Underground Sun. And feel free to do all the other things, like follow the band on their socials and listen to them on your favorite streaming service. Thanks for watching this Artist Spotlight. We'll see you soon. Hey everybody! Thanks for watching. Welcome to the Underground Sun Live, totally live by the fireside chat with Mr. Tim Arlen. Amazing piece we had there. Holy moly.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
It was.
You guys,
Yeah,
thank you for
thanks to the
everything you
crew.
did. You made me look interesting. It was phenomenal.
So we're just trying out something new. So let's start it off with the cheers.
Well,
we
I
have to
think
go
we
back
should,
to
yes,
that, of course.
exactly. It's the cornerstone of our relationship, darling.
Don't make me spit wine right at the beginning of the show. So we're sitting here in front of all of this amazing olive oil from the company that we just saw.
Yeah.
Like where you live and all the stuff that you've grown. You've made everything you've helped to create all of the stuff that's in this.
My dirty little fingers are in every single bottle.
Delicious?
Yes. No, it adds.
I was excited about trying it.
Yeah, well, we should,
Exactly.
with that in mind, shall we open something up and
Well, I
and have
I
a-
think we should. I think it'd be
Yeah.
good to. And
Tell us a little bit about what we got here.
all right. Well, let's start with the Provençal. So, at the Grove, what we do is we do 3 main varieties, which is Provençal, Tuscan, and Andalusian. So you got your French, your Italian, and then your Spanish. And then sometimes we get to do a special one, which will be the signature. But I have to say, last year's Provençal was incredible. I do like a bold olive oil, and what we do at Ojai Olive Oil is actually we don't filter our oil, so you can. I don't know. For me, you can. Well, you get the earth, you get the bark, you get the leaves, you get everything. So it's important to me. So this is the Provençal, which is the mildest.
Ah, yes.
Okay, I shall put that there. Hold your horse. Right, hold
excited.
on there. I know.
So excited.
And then we're gonna open up a Tuscan. Tuscan is going to be so in France they don't like a lot of pepper, so Provençal olive oil is quite mild, and then you get to the Italian, which has a little spice because they talk with their hands a lot, and so it's a little spicier on the flavor, especially with the phenols. And when I say phenols, what I mean is it's the polyphenols. So that's the pepper that you get in the back of your throat, which some people don't necessarily like. Mm-hmm. I am going to open up this.
The feels. They don't like the feels.
No, this is East End herb. Okay, now this is our take on. It's basically, and I don't want to make it sound mundane, but it's our take on kind of an Italian pizza oil. So you've probably heard of Herbe de Provence, which has a whole bunch of different French herbs in it. It's our take on on the Italian version, so it's made with garlic, rosemary, thyme, oregano, and basil. The hardest thing about blending this is to try and find all the notes in it. So let's start with these. I'm going
Okay.
to give it a little taste. You want to break off some? Should we break some bread together?
Break some bread here.
Break- break some
we
bread
need a
together.
knife in this place.
Oh
here.
no, it's good. Oh no, no, we can do it by hand. I hope this is exciting for you.
Oh yeah, here we go. Let's try this out.
Okay, so here, delve into the Provençal.
Okay.
So this is going to be mild, but it's going to have a lot of character to it too. And so our Provençal,
Are these all grown at the
yeah,
location?
absolutely. But also
Right
what
on
we've
site.
done,
Oh,
what we've also done is incorporated, we have actually created a co-op. So Ojai used to have a lot more olive trees than it does now. And what we've done is a lot of growers and a lot of family farms that have moved into the area. There's a huge amount of olive trees. And so what we've done is introduce them, as long as they're organic, because we're on an organic farm, as long as they're certified organic, they can bring their olives to us, depending on the variety, because we all, most growers in Ojai have the Tuscan varieties, which is Lacino, Pendolino, Marino, Frantoio. So we tend to make sure that everyone that we mill has the same varieties that we have, so that it doesn't get too crazy. And so, yeah, these
so
are
much
all.
of a
This is
blend.
all from Ojai Valley, mostly from us, but with a lot of other farms that we've brought in too. It's delicate.
yeah. Oh,
How-
it's tasty.
Like compared to wine, how distinct are the flavors between the different varieties? I mean, is it as distinct as wine, or is it more subtle?
That's a good
The
question.
question came in about how to, if the tastes are more subtle or if they're more obvious, like in compared to wine, like.
You know what? I would say that it's very much the same, because in a lot of wine you get blends of grapes.
Right.
Now we do the same with olives, but we make sure that the blends are from the same country. So let's say our Tuscan, out of those 4 varieties that we have, some of the trees won't perform as well as the others, but it doesn't really make a huge difference because their makeup is somewhat the same. The polyphenols are always going to be high, because that is a typical Italian variety. So if one variety out of the 4 doesn't perform as much, it's not going to make so much of a difference from the eventual taste. You're always going to have, Provençal is always going to be mild, Tuscan is going to be stronger, and then Andalusian is always going to be the most powerful. Flavor-wise, interestingly enough, the Tuscan polyphenol count is always the highest, even though the Andalusian varieties taste stronger. But that's the chemical makeup. So I think it's kind of similar to wine.
Speaking of guys, Sammy wants to know what wine you're drinking.
What wine are we drinking?
Samuel. Hi, my
Hi,
love.
Sammy.
I think it's that one. Was it that one?
It is that one.
Oh,
And
yeah,
this is a
this is-
bottle that David,
Yeah, this is my good friend, who I call the Biggles, Michael O'Neill. His uncle has a winery in Dry Creek, California. This is the Sinsao. It's the Preston Winery. And, oh, man, it's fantastic.
It's
we
lovely.
went up there a couple months ago. Oh, everybody's digging it.
it's beautiful, Sammy.
Yeah.
You should get yourself some.
Yes, we agree.
Yeah, we're all having it here.
And I think Kristen,
Kristen.
and Kara are both on. Kristen Elson and Kara.
Ah, Kristen and Kara. Hello. My awesome work peeps. Have some wine with us.
Definitely.
Is there such thing as pairing wine with olive oils, or is that not so much a thing?
I'm sure there is. I haven't got to that point yet.
Any
We're just
wine-
pairing.
Yeah,
you know,
no, I mean, no, normally I'm
Not thinking
I'm happy
it out
on
too
the
much.
wine. Yeah.
all the above.
Basically, what I would suggest is the oil lines your stomach, that allows you to really enjoy your wine.
Okay.
But when it comes to food, absolutely. I mean, let's try while we're on
Yeah,
this.
here we go.
You got some?
I broke this off, yeah.
Try so this is the Tuscan.
The Tuscan. And this
The
is
Tuscan's
gonna
going to have a little bit more bite on the back end. For me, it has a metallic front, kind of a cold steel front, and then it has a kickback.
Oh my God.
Right?
You're right. It kind of like just goes in and then it's just like expands in your mouth. That's
that weird?
crazy. Wow. Oh my God. And now it's like taking over. Mm-hmm. Wow.
It takes over your life, my darling.
Clearly. Wow.
So that's
I mean,
the Tuscan.
Oh, it just expands. It just like, and so what is the mechanism that happens that like blows it up like that?
Well, it's very much the polyphenol count, the phenol. It's got that high pepper in the back, and it's it's not so much grassy. What it is, it's I don't know really how to explain it. It's a terrible way to explain it, and I feel bad every time I do a tour and I tell people this is what you're going to feel. It's metallic, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
What I mean is it's a cold front, and then expands into the back of your throat.
Yeah.
And it's just a very different taste. And I'm sure, everyone has a different reaction to tastes of any kind of food, liquid, and it's your take on it. And I don't know why that is. Honestly, I'm not a scientist.
Come on.
I know. I'm letting myself
You just
down.
play one on TV.
Yeah.
So Tim, we have a question for you.
Ooh,
Yes.
Coming in. Question.
If somebody comes up for a tasting of the olive oil,
Yeah.
can they get a personal tour from you? And do you happen to play music during the tour?
I wish I could. That's something that we should talk about. No, at the moment, you know what? If you do want a personal tour, I am there every day. That is absolutely possible. If you call the office and actually want a personal tour from me, I'm happy to do it.
That's cool.
As far as playing music, let's take that little bit by little bit.
He's $200 an hour, if you're lucky. So.
Yeah, it's actually
More.
just gone to 250.
Oh.
But anyway,
Great.
point is, no, yes, it absolutely is possible. I'd like to indulge
let's
us
try
on
this.
the East End.
Yes, please.
Okay. This, and I have to
Oh.
say, this is, I don't need to pour it, I already did.
I wanted to smell it, but we'll smell it. From there.
Smell that. Smell the glove.
Spinal Tap comes back.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
There's many moments in my life that I've suddenly realized, good Lord.
Sammy says a cold metal that expands to the back of your throat, like getting your head chopped off.
Exactly,
Very
Samuel.
simple.
Exactly, Samuel.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
A
All right,
flavor.
dip in there. So this is rosemary, garlic, thyme, oregano, and basil.
Oh,
Wow, guys, rub it in.
I mean, come on and have some of this. Holy moly.
Right? That just on pasta. That on salad.
It's just, yeah.
Now I'm not a
explode. I mean, just flavors everywhere.
right.
Oh my
and
God.
and I have to admit I'm not a huge one for infusement because when you have olive oil, I like to when I'm cooking I like to just add it. But what we like to do also is to make sure that our infusements don't take over, so you still taste the oil. You get your lemon, you get your garlic, because we have a lot more than this. This is just a little sample. What's important for Philip and I, because we blend the oils together, is to make sure you still taste the oil, not just a big old lemon blast or a garlic blast.
Right.
It's not meant to cover; it's meant to accentuate,
Enhance.
enhance. I was going sexual, darling. Stop me! Stop it!
Do I have to?
Yeah. No, but you're meant to taste the oil as well as the actual infusement.
Wow.
Now,
I mean, okay. Oh, we're trying another
no,
one?
I want to blow your mind now.
Oh, jeez. All right.
So, and this, okay, so when I used to do tastings at the Grove, I don't do so much anymore because I'm obviously out in the field, but it's very important, if you do visit us, now, I will say this, while we're in COVID, this actually isn't possible to a certain degree, is to choose your oil and then find a balsamic that you would like to try with it. And, you know, back before COVID, we could do this. And, you know, I'd get people to find their favorite oil and then find their balsamic that they loved and then dip both in bread and then just,
Right.
and it becomes a meal.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
this
so
is my dinner, by the way. Yeah.
this is a very healthy dinner. So what I suggest that we do is, let's just go, because now this is fig. All our balsamics we import from Modena, Italy. So balsamic vinegar is kind of like champagne. For balsamic vinegar to be actual balsamic vinegar, it has to come from Modena, Italy. Like champagne has to come from Champagne. All our vinegars are aged 18 years old, and the viscosity, the flavor is incredible. I think we have 12 different balsamics. We have 5 infused olive oils, and then we have 4 blends of olive oil. So it's important that you know when you go to a restaurant and they give you the olive oil and then they go, do you want some balsamic in it? And you get that fantastic mix. But try this fig, because it is.
By itself or
And
mixed?
yeah,
Okay.
you know, oh, this is what we'll do. Let's do this. Let's do
mix
this.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do
mix
that.
it.
Because
Look at that. If only you could see this. It's beautiful. It's art. Okay. Are you waiting for my expression? Yeah. Oh my God. Heaven. Heaven.
right?
It's so sweet.
It is. It is.
I mean, in a, like a, oh man.
this over vegetables, salad. I cook a lot of salmon in this. This and the espresso.
Espresso.
Espresso balsamic is to die for.
We are living the good life.
How
right
good
here.
is that?
Oh man, I'm getting
That's
more.
a meal.
I'm getting in on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting in. Double dip. Well, single dip, but yeah.
Double up it up.
Oh my gosh.
It's gorgeous. So these are, yeah. So here's a
This
little,
is what we got. This
here's a
is
little oil vinegar party.
this is what you do, man. You make amazing things from the earth for
Yeah.
people to
I'm part of it. I'm
really enjoy.
I'm part
Oh
of
my
this
gosh.
this production. There's a bunch of us
Yeah.
that work there, and we're all, you know, we're heart and soul in this.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
It's worth it.
And what kind of cheese are you guys having?
Oh.
Oh,
What did you bring?
you know what? I've no
Nothing you
idea.
guys can tell you.
I brought something out of the fridge. I think this is goat's head.
It's like a, yeah.
I think this is goat's head cheese. This is Boursin, which is your basic kind of, I don't know, all flavor in French.
Is that a manchego, the first one?
This one?
No, the first
This one? No, that's a goat's head.
Go ahead.
Um,
Kind of firm, right?
it is. It's firm, and let's see. And I hope goat's head isn't watching. No, it's good. It's creamy.
Oh. Dip
Tastes
it.
so
Yeah.
much better with, you know, Ojai extra virgin olive oil and
Yeah,
balsamic,
throw it-
but
throw it in there. Yeah.
it's good. And this one, I'm not sure what this is. Let's have a look.
They look great.
Whoa.
Can you guys? Do you want to get in on some of this? Come on.
Oil, come
I'd
on.
love the little taste.
You should kind of
Next
just.
big thing, Kevin says. Ken
Olive
Friends.
oil.
Is Ken Friends your dad?
That is my dad. Yeah.
Hey, Dad.
Olive oil. Hey, Dad.
Olive
Olive.
oil coffee, but
Oh.
or coffee olive oil.
Mm.
What
Well,
about coffee infused?
We said the
olive oil?
espresso.
Well, that's a balsamic vinegar.
Oh, okay.
No, Ken, that is.
Espresso balsamic.
That's-
Yeah,
Now you're putting me to the test. Now I've got to figure out how we do that.
Infused with upstate coffee.
Oh yeah, my cousin has an amazing
I have a question about
upstate
the,
coffee company.
You know what? We'll figure it out.
We got a
How
question.
old is Ojai Olive Oil Company? Like when did they start?
1998.
Okay.
98.
And then,
1998.
so what's the origin story of those olive trees? Because you said they're 160 years old.
So those were the only trees on that land. When Ron Asquith came with Alice and found that plot of land, the only olive trees on there were the old trees. I might get this story wrong, so bear with me. There was a guy that came about a month ago to do the census, and he came up to the grove, and he had the original deed from the land that had the information about when those trees and who those trees were planted by. 160, 170 years ago. The old trees, our old grove, that's when it was established. Now, all the other trees was planted by Ron and all the other varieties. So all the old trees that exist on the Ojai Olive Oil Company's land, they're all Spanish trees. They're Lechino de Seville and Hojiblanco. And then all the others were planted back in 1998.
So are olive trees native to California?
No.
No, they're all brought in from Europe.
The original ones were, which is why you get a lot of mission trees out here, were brought by the Spaniards and they were called mission trees. And mission trees, honestly, there's nothing wrong with them. They're beautiful, they're olive trees. They don't produce the most charismatic oil. Brining are perfect, but as a oil-based olive, they don't have the character that a lot of the other varieties of Spanish olives do. But it's, you know, I'm not gonna be an olivist.
An
So-
olive elitist.
Yes. So, you know, all olives are great. Spanish, French, Italian, Australian. And I mean, you know, you got to remember that there are about 7,000 varieties of olives in the world.
Ooh.
So,
I know that.
you know what I mean? It's and a lot of people ask me, they have an olive tree or a couple of olive trees, and I go to their property and they go, "Can you tell me what this olive tree is?" It's too difficult.
You need a DNA test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I've noticed mostly working out here is fundamentally you will have, if it's an old tree, it's probably Spanish. If it is a younger tree, you normally get sold Tuscan varieties, Italian varieties. It's going to be a Manzanillo, Frantoio, Pendolino, Merino, Frantoio. Those are your like raw group of varieties from Italy, which most people will plant.
Is that for looks or is it for flavor?
It's for flavor.
For flavor.
Looks is totally down to pruning, which is a completely different art, which I do, obviously. But, you know, when you're an olive farm and you want as much foliage and as much crop as possible, but that also means that you have to open them up so the sunlight gets in them. You can't just leave an olive tree and let it just grow and be a bush, because it's important that the cradle gets sun and that it's sculpted in the middle. That means you get fruit on the outside and from the inside. But
What's
I remember
the
you-
cradle? Is that the inside?
I remember you telling me about that, how you went into the olive oil company here and
Yeah.
you had to kind of like open up the middle.
yeah,
Is
it's
that
important.
the cradle, like where the
the cradle,
kind of branches
yeah.
out from the main?
Exactly. So the cradle, you know, you got your crown, which is where the actual tree goes into the ground,
Yeah.
and then you have your cradle, and the cradle is where you choose your 4 or 5 main limbs. It's important to prune an olive tree properly because they get to 4,000 or 5,000 years old. So it's important that you create the form that tree can have for the rest of its life.
4,000 or 5,000 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and what you'll find in Europe and across other places that have old trees is the trees aren't very tall. Now at High Olive Oil, we keep a lot of our old trees tall because we like the shade, because we do the tours under it and it gets hot out here. But you know, keeping a fruit-bearing tree low just means that what you're doing is allowing the tree to draw the nutrients into the fruit faster than traveling 30 feet up into the tree. But olive trees, yeah, the old saying is, you know, a dove needs to fly through the branches of an olive.
Okay.
So,
You have to open
you know,
up the-
exactly. So, you know, aesthetically it's very pleasing, but there's two ways of pruning. There's many ways of pruning, but basically your two is aesthetic or crop. And so, you know, we do a little bit of both
Right.
where I work, because, you know, we've got a couple of trees that just need to be beautiful. Actually, we did, Philip, my boss, has dressed one of the trees with Christmas balls, and it looks beautiful. We've done a Christmas olive this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we have a question about upcoming music projects. Are you guys each working on something, or what's with COVID and everything? What are you guys working on?
Well, I was going to say, you just released a single or a couple of singles. Hoochie
Yes.
Coochie Man.
Yes, yeah, that's out on Facebook with Smitty and Julia for their COVID sessions. You know, well, you know as well as I do, it's really tough right now to figure out where we get to play live.
Right.
Are people playing out, or?
No.
Not really. I think the rule is right now you could be up to 2 people, but you have to be from the same household. Thanks. Which makes it really difficult. I don't have any gigs booked at the moment, but I think we are in Ojai. I've spoken to, and I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to put anyone in any trouble, but I have a possible residency at a local restaurant, and we're talking about me just playing solo, you know, enough space away from everybody, so I'm not gonna.
Once the lockdown happens, or kind of maybe
No,
it
I
still
think-
might work.
Well, I think for us, we're
And
not
figure
so
it out.
we're not so much in a lockdown as LA County is.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
That's
I think
right,
there's
we're in
still
Ventura.
I think
That's
there's
right.
still a little bit of leniency. I mean,
right.
LA, yes, all
Yeah.
outside dining is out. But we have to tread carefully. I think we're all
Yeah.
trying to do this at the same.
We certainly have been lucky up here, you know, knock on wood,
Yeah.
with cases and
Yeah.
everything being pretty very low. So
Yeah. Hence, we're
yeah, exactly.
sitting next to each other. We did actually get the test. So if anyone's wondering, oh, you're flaunting, we're not flaunting
Nope.
yet. I'll flaunt later. But at the moment, no.
Give him some more wine. I'll flaunt.
Yes.
All kind.
Yes. Yes, the flaunting Englishman. That's what they call
We're
me.
flaunting olive oil right now. That's for sure.
But at some point,
You have
hopefully, we're going to be playing.
and you have so you have a new single or a double single or like 2, 3 songs.
Well,
something
Stone
happened?
Fruit Blues and Sweetwater James.
Yeah.
So Stone Fruit Blues is the one that I played on the piano in the documentary, recorded by Tim V. Hutton, our loving friend. He's an amazing producer, Grammy award-winning producer, who put me together with the California Feet Warmers. And we did 2 songs in that session, and so we've done one video for Stone Fruit Blues, and we're going to do another one for Sweetwater James, and then we will release that, obviously online. So that's something to look forward to.
Cool.
They're great tracks. I think everyone will dig them.
And then Hoochie Coochie Man.
And then Hoochie Coochie Man is out with a video, and that was a lovely COVID session get together by Smitty and Julia here in Ojai. With Tim played bass, Carl Hunter was on sax, Greg Weiser on drums, Thibaut back in France, where I first arranged that song. He was the original trombonist and singer on it, and Julia on Squeezebox, accordion, and Smitty on piano. So that's out at the moment. You can probably find it on my Facebook page, Tim Marlon.
Can I ask you about that song?
Mm-hmm.
You've, I've seen you play that pretty much at every gig, and
Yeah.
I go crazy for that song.
It's a fun one.
Like, it's a very old blues song.
Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like way back. What is what is it about that song that drives people mad, why it's still here, why millions of people cover it?
It's sexy as hell.
It is. It is. And it's so energizing.
Well, and the point of that song, Hoochie Coochie was originally a belly dance. Okay? So you put it all together, and then obviously, word coochie. Sorry.
And hoochie is maybe, I don't know.
Well,
hooch?
it was, it was a combination of but it originated as a belly dance.
Wow.
It was a sexual belly dance. And then men being men obviously turned it into a mannish thing. But it wasn't written by Muddy Waters. It was actually, oh, good Lord, I'm not going to remember who wrote it originally. It was Muddy's partner. It was the same guy that wrote Mannish Boy. And you know that song, right? Mannish Boy?
Ooh, probably.
It's same
I can't
lick.
think of it right. Oh, okay. Right.
And
Not
Dixon.
Willie Dixon.
Willie Dixon. So Willie Dixon was the writer. And he wrote those songs for Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters made him famous. And I've got a feeling that it was my favorite harmonica player, which I now, other than Joel Pinkerton, that I, played with Muddy Waters. It starts with an S. He was the harmonica player, and
Yeah.
that's the famous riff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but there's
Title of the song you guys are talking about?
Hoochie Coochie Man.
Yeah.
Gucci Man.
Hoochie Coochie Man.
Hoochie Coochie Man.
And no, it's a well-known.
So I have to tell you a story about my musical upbringing. So my dad used to play the blues, just and I would go crazy as a kid. I was I called it the wild song.
Right.
I would jump around the house. I would just be like, the blues gets me. It gets me. It it just grabs me and just yanks me around. And so when you do that song live, you've seen me. I mean, I get up and I go berserk. Like, it's nuts. I can't help it. That is the power of it. And that riff and just the energy of it, I mean, oh my God. That is infused in all of my music.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, I have a question.
Oh.
When is David's album coming out?
Yes, I'd like to know that too, because
I'd love to know.
Well, it's going to be mixed by Jason down at Carbonite this
Jason
coming month.
Mariani?
Yep.
amazing.
So by the end of the month, by the end of December, it should be mixed. But when is it actually going to come out? Probably the earliest would be April, but we might have some singles out before then. So February, March time frame. And I may be taking on an artist name that is about to be announced. So we'll see how that
Really?
goes. Yeah.
Oh, you're a man of mystery, David. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's the style? What kind of music is it?
The style is, well, I mean, blues covers everything, or it just...
It's roots. You definitely got
it's-
roots in there, baby.
And yeah, a lot of the chord progressions are inspired by that, but it's more of, I would call it desert soul. You know, Tim played on a bunch of tracks, organ, other keys, and it was so great to have him in the studio. And Will, who produced helped us with Iggy T and the Crazy Makers, he's my soul brother, Grammy nominated now for an album, a blues album that he mixed.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, he deserves every praise that he can get. And yeah, other guys, you know, from town, Jesse and Daniel and Sid and Brendan and Oh man, we had a great session right before the first lockdown. We went into Carbonite and recorded 14 songs, and now I've brought it down to 10. And last night I actually recorded the guitar for one of the tracks right here.
Seriously?
Yeah, that right there. Yeah. So it was all, yeah, you know, the house becomes a studio. So.
If somebody wanted to check out your music, where would they find out Tim's and where would they find yours?
Go.
Well, mine's not out yet, so you can't find mine. But anything from Underground Sun, just go to Underground Sun. But for you, you have a few.
Yeah, and I have no idea, honestly. I'm the worst at selling my own music.
Spotify?
What I would say is, so the last 2 records would be under Screaming John, T.D. Lind, which are the blues records. Those are both on iTunes and Spotify, YouTube. And then personally, T.D. Lind, you can find on iTunes, you can find on, I think, Spotify. I don't even have Spotify.
Yes. You can find them on Spotify.
There's a bunch of places in the ether. Some cloud is some cloud is raining
Somecloud.com
and crying about it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm everywhere and nowhere.
Nowhere all at once.
I'm glad you're right here.
No, this
Any
is good.
potential collaborations between the two of you?
No, I hate this fucking man. I've never worked with him in a day's. This guy. I hope so.
Sun olive oil?
Oh yeah, there we go.
No, okay, of course we will rub each other with olive oil, and then we'll make a record, and
that'll be on the next live stream.
Yes, it'll be amazing.
Live stream?
It'll be spicy. We'll just use Tuscan.
We're also curious to know how long ago did you form Underground Sun and where was that?
Oh, okay. So Underground Sun was formed back in Boston, 2002-ish. Before that, actually, I had I'm almost embarrassed to call it this, but while I was a student at Berkeley, I called it Sun Finger.
Gotta look out for those sun.
Nice one. Nice
look
one.
out.
Nice one.
Yeah. I was still, you got to practice before you become...
My first band was called Guilty Finger. Oh. We're really close.
Sounds like you both have guilty fingers.
Guilty Sun Finger.
We're guilty.
That'll be our thing. Sun Fingers have guilty.
Now we have our band name. Done. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Well, I think we should wrap this up now on that note.
No, I'm just getting started, Danny.
Well, we have to turn the cameras off.
Oh,
Yes, we do.
exactly.
Yeah, the batteries are dying. They're done with us.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this live stream and the Fireside Chat and the amazing videos about this guy and Iggy T and the Crazy Makers made by the amazing Jeff Uzzle and Dustin Byerly. And thanks to Ali for everything that you're doing. Thanks to Tim for your plethora of deliciousness. And thanks most to you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Stay safe.